Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth Barker. I'm going to be talking about the Venus of Willendorf. This is a sculpture. It's a little blurry, sorry. It was made by Gravettian people over 20,000 to 30,000 years ago. The form and the texture suggest that these people traveled and traded over long distances, and the fact that it was made from oolitic limestone also suggests that, because this material is not native to the area in which the sculpture was found. I chose to do this sculpture because I did an assignment on it a while ago, and I didn't really go in depth research-wise on the assignment, but I was really interested in the meaning behind it and the fact that you can interpret this sculpture in so many different ways. That's really what interested me, so that's why I decided to pick it to do this presentation on. The sculpture itself is of a woman who has very exaggerated hips and breasts and stomach. She has no arms or feet or facial features because you're meant to focus on the parts that are really prominent and exaggerated. It could be based off a real woman, but there's no evidence or research or anything to show that it is. And because it was so long ago that this was made, there's really no way of knowing if it was based off a real woman or not. So it's really just up to interpretation whether you think it is or not. I think it was just based off the idea of woman during this time, and it was based off the idea of a woman in general, not a specific one, just woman in general. There are many different meanings that you could interpret from this, like I said before. I believe it is supposed to mean fertility and womanhood, because women are the bearers of children. In the sculpture, you can see the exaggerated features that align with pregnancy, because whenever you get pregnant, these features become more prominent. And in the sculpture, let me go back. Okay. In the sculpture, you can see that her breasts and her stomach are both very exaggerated, and like I said, those become more prominent whenever you get pregnant. If you want to look beyond that, you could say it's a representation of body positivity, or a symbol of survival and rebirth, or it was just made for cultural reasons or aesthetic. Since it is a really old sculpture, you can't really interpret the true meaning behind it, and you can't really say exactly what the artist who made it was intending for it to mean, because it is really old and there's no way of knowing exactly what they wanted it to mean. I believe its primary focus on the stomach and the breasts suggests that it means fertility and womanhood, but like I said, it is up to whoever is looking at it to interpret whatever they think it means. The absence of facial features, hands, and feet also reflect how women were perceived in that era and how they are viewed during pregnancy. So a pregnant woman wouldn't be expected to do as much as a woman who isn't pregnant or a man. So they wouldn't really be using their feet and their hands as much, idealized, as a woman who isn't pregnant or a man. I believe that connects with fertility and womanhood, because the hands and the feet are missing, and the facial features missing as well, because sometimes whenever somebody looks at a pregnant woman, they don't really think about the woman herself. They just think about the fact that she's pregnant and she's bearing a child. So they look kind of straight through her, and only think about the fact that she is pregnant with a child. This sculpture and many others have influenced modern art, especially during this time whenever feminist movements and stuff are kind of coming out and prominent. So this sculpture and many others have been used for inspiration throughout many years, and feminist artists use them all the time. They see it as a celebration of female form without all the idealizations that society has today. Like the beauty standard today would be thinness and youth, but the sculpture contrasts that. You can see in the picture, Judy Chicago used the Venus of Willendorf as inspiration for the sculpture, the Bronze Goddess, which is an example of how it influenced modern art. And that's the Venus of Willendorf. That's all I have. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you.